Hi, this is a video response to the Dear Mr. Obama from a military wife video. I just want to say a few quick things. Nothing to me. First off, I'm Blade Runner 1988, and I posted two previous conversations, just quick little 5-line things, and you erased both of them. Neither one of them were very divisive or negative in any way, especially not towards you. Um, Maybe they were negative in the sense that I was telling the truth and you couldn't handle that. But fine, fair enough. I just ask that next time you don't remove comments for no good reason. Leave them up, because otherwise you're just drowning out people's voices with your own, and that's not good. Secondly, I'd like to say that I find it very funny that your previous videos, not very campaign ad-like, you know, this one very campaign ad-like. I mean, you did your hair, you had yourself look all nice, and then you spent a very good amount of time trying to convince the public that you were actually saying something from your heart, but in reality it was just, I'm voting McCain and so should you if you care about your husband. In reality, I mean, first, what do you know about military policy? Probably none. That's my guess. What do you know about McCain's military policy? Again, most likely nothing, other than the fact that he'll keep your husband in Iraq for a longer period of time. And I'm guessing that has a higher chance of killing your husband. Just taking a guess. I mean, hell, he might even have a heart attack because of how scary it is out there. But you think differently. I don't know how that's possible. Maybe from a different planet, or you just don't care about your husband as much as I think you should. But that's not the point. The point is more around, if we're going to win in Iraq, you need to first define winning. Is winning losing more lives or gaining more lives? I'd like to think that saving more lives, gaining more lives is actually winning than losing. And if you look at the UN, what did the UN say? I mean, this is all the countries other than us and Poland and Iceland, really. All the countries together claiming that it would be a better decision to have the Iraqis rule their own country, have them make their own mistakes, and deal with terrorism on their own, than to have us go in there with them. Because in reality, I mean, now we're fighting a country, and we're fighting terrorists. Because the country, no one in Iraq really wants us in there. I mean, even the president, the prime minister, he doesn't want us in there. He said that he doesn't even want us there. And yet we continue staying in this country. Now, if you can say that we're doing something for all of those Iraqis, we really care about them, right? Since when? Since when have we cared about them? Because, I mean, we stood by during atrocities in the 1950s, 1960s, 1970s, did nothing. And then 1980s come around, and there's lots of oil, and there's an oil crisis. Now, it seems very odd that late in the 80s we start getting an idea, why don't we go into Iraq and stop Saddam? We tried that, but we only managed to get into Kuwait. And although Kuwait became a good ally of ours and sold us very cheap oil, it didn't work as well as we had planned. And again, Iraq being part of OPEC, we could easily change that by just, once we take down the country, take down the ruling government, which was Saddam Hussein at the time, we could just rewrite contracts. So saying something about oil is pretty ridiculous. But that's beside the point. The real point is that if we had a crisis, would you go into our country and try to resolve the crisis? If you do, okay, fair enough. But do you stay there and try to run the country for another 5, 6 years? You don't do. I mean, despite all outside information, if you ever take the time to look at outside information from other countries, other media sources other than our biased media sources in the U.S., Fox Media being a very, very bad biased one, then you would see that most of them agree we should be out of there. And they would say that right now there's going to be a lot less attack against Iraqis or Americans if we leave. The reason why, if you leave a country alone, the terrorists aren't going to want to attack Iraqis. They're only doing that because they want to make us look even worse. So if you leave Iraq entirely, I guarantee you there will be a much lower death rate there. There might be a lower death toll, maybe not. There's already 670,000 people who have died there. Innocent people. That's right, not terrorists. It'd be wonderful if they were terrorists, but they're not. The terrorists, though, yeah, we certainly did smoke them out of their holes, right? You know, all 2,000 of them. We had to kill 670,000 innocent people, but we did it. And if you're going to say that we didn't kill those people, no, the terrorists are the ones who killed those people, okay, arguing semantics again. When you force terrorists to go and kill their own people just to make a point, you've essentially created that problem. When you could have just left altogether, let the Iraq government actually do the work. Because once we killed Saddam Hussein, we set up an entire new system. And honestly, I mean, I think countries need to go through difficult times because they need to learn from them. They need to grow from them. The U.S. did. We certainly had a lot of our difficult times, and we've grown to become one of the greatest countries in the world. And to turn this entire issue into a political issue, it's very sad. I know there are people out there that thrive off military service. I know that there are people out there who need military service to feed their families, like you. But it's not a good reason to stay in wars. It's not a good reason to continuously attack countries, or to, I don't know what you want to call it, invade, occupy. There are just so many stupid words that you can use. They don't mean anything, but you could use 100,000 of them. So all I'd like to do is ask you, just for 1 second, drop politics. Drop all your thoughts about politics and how John McCain went and fought in a war, and that somehow makes him more likely or able to do a better job in deciding our war. That's a fundamental flaw there. Just saying because I'm a teacher, I can head the Department of Education. Does that make any sense to you at all? No, it really shouldn't. It really should, because that's not true. Take that politics, drop it, and just look at it in a real issue. How many lives are going to be saved by leaving? Just American lives, quite a few. Iraqi lives, quite a few. I mean, any independent news source is going to tell you that's what's going to happen. So take the time, look at it. I'm sure you've got a lot to do sitting at home waiting for your husband to come back. Look at it, and really make a decision, not about politics, but about living. That's it.